all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Hey, it's Duke.
And this is Corey.
And welcome back to another episode of the Drive-In Review. This is our 22nd episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and shout out to our last episode before, or 2 episodes ago, the Revenge of the Nerds. That was our most viewed episode ever.
Yep.
On YouTube.
Our 20th episode was,
Yeah. So thank you to all the listeners and the viewers that have appreciated what we've done in these 22 episodes.
Yes.
So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And we'll keep on making them.
Yeah.
Well, you keep listening, we'll keep making them.
That's right.
So what are we doing? What are we doing today?
Sea-Dog, what are we doing?
We're going to do Ghostbusters.
What?
The entire franchise.
What?
Except 2016.
What?
Yeah. We're not. I don't even want to mention it.
I don't either.
Yeah. Sorry, women.
It has nothing to do with that. It's the movie itself.
This is the original storyline franchise is what we're doing.
Yeah.
So we're talking about Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, Afterlife, and
Frozen Empire. Yeah, we're not going to talk about 2016, not because they're women.
Right.
Has nothing to do with that.
No.
It's just because the movie does not follow the timeline, and the movie itself is not good.
It's not good, no.
I mean, some people may like it.
They tried.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some aspects. I mean, there's cameos in it.
There are cool cameos.
Yeah, but none of them are the original character cameos. Mm-hmm. Like, I would have loved to see that, like they did with this one. But they couldn't because it was supposed to be a reboot, not a remake or an addition.
There's points of the movie that are funny and entertaining. Chris Hemsworth as the secretary, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious, yeah.
But that's as far as it really goes.
Right.
I mean.
So yeah. So there we go. We mentioned it. It's over. It's done with.
Move along.
Move along. Here we go with Ghostbusters.
Ugh.
Ghosts.
Hello, Ghostbusters.
Ghosts.
They're real.
You do?
You have?
You have?
They're here. Ghostbusters.
Hey, anybody see a ghost?
They catch the ghost that won't stay dead. They're armed. They're dangerous.
Try to imagine all life as you know it stopping instantaneously and every molecule in your body exploding at the speed of light.
All right, that's bad. Okay. All right, important safety tip. Thanks, Egon.
They're professionals.
Oh.
I'm the chairman of the largest paranormal removal company in America.
You see it?
They're all that stands between you and the end of the world.
The city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportion. Real wrath of God type stuff.
Exactly.
Fire and brimstone coming down from the sky. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria. Your girlfriend lives in the corner penthouse of Spook Central.
You want this body?
Is this a trick question?
Got your stick? Hold! Get him up! Smoke it! Make him hard! Ready!
Ghostbusters. Starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis. Coming to save the world.
Who you gonna call?
Ghostbusters.
We came, we saw, we kicked it.
Ass.
Yeah, I know it cut it off. It was the edited version.
Yeah.
So yeah, Ghostbusters. It stars Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson.
There you go. Thank you.
Yes, Rick Moranis and Sigourney Weaver, along with William Atherton.
Yeah.
And some other people. Annie Potts.
I think Ron Jeremy has a cameo at the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And this movie was released June 8th, 1984. And it was directed by the one and only Ivan Reitman.
Who died in 2022.
Yes. R.I.P.
He's also known for doing such films as Meatballs,
Yes.
Stripes, Twins, Kindergarten Cop, Junior, and Evolution.
Nice. Yeah, he's iconic.
Among other films.
Yes. And the writers of this is Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and Rick Moranis.
Uncredited.
I didn't know he had a part in writing it.
I had no idea either until I looked it up. But yeah, he's uncredited as a writer for this film.
The composer for this film is Elmer Bernstein.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Ray Parker Jr. came up with the theme song Ghostbusters.
Elmer Bernstein is known for doing the score for films such as Wild Wild West.
Okay.
Oscar. Funny Farm. Leonard Part 6.
Nice.
Yes, Leonard Part 6.
With the Cosby.
Ooh, and Three Amigos, Spies Like Us, Trading Places, Airplane, and the best werewolf movie ever made.
Teen Wolf.
Really? You just whipped that out of your ass real quick.
I did.
An American Werewolf in London.
Yes.
Among other movies, he's very prolific.
He's done a few.
Yeah. This movie was also produced by Ivan Reitman.
Yes. And
he's credited for producing all four of them.
Yeah.
Even the newest one, even though he had passed.
Right. Yeah, he's had a part in all of them.
Yeah.
And it was also produced by Columbia Pictures as well.
Okay.
It had the filming locations for this was Fire Station 23 in New York City, which was actually, and then Hook and Ladder, which was, so Fire Station 23 was the interior part of the filming, and then Hook and Ladder was the exterior building that the iconic building we see.
Oh, I thought Hook and Ladder was just a sandwich from Firehouse Subs.
No. So, and then it was also filmed in Los Angeles as well. It had a budget of $30 million. Do you think it flopped?
No, it did not flop.
No.
It probably made like $200 or $300 million.
Close to it, 296.5.
Yep.
So, yeah, huge success.
Yeah.
IMDb gave it 7.8 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 95% with an 88% audience rating. And Letterboxd gave it 3.8 out of 5. I gave it 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it's 10 out of 10.
Yeah, definitely.
I've always loved this movie, even as a kid. But there's things in this movie that you don't catch until you're an adult.
Yeah.
So, there's stuff for kids, there's stuff for adults. When you're a kid, you're watching it, you're like, okay, this is funny, this is fun. I remember when I was a kid, I'd, replay certain scenes from the movie on the playground with me and a couple other of my friends, especially like, we've got one, and, you go down the fire pole and you're running. And also the beginning scene where they see the first ghost, the library ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to replay those things, or reenact those scenes.
Get her.
Yeah, get her, Ray. Get her. But as an adult, you see this movie and you're like, there's some racy stuff in this movie. There's
raunchy
jokes.
Stuff.
There's jokes you don't get as a kid. So
like Ray's little dream.
Dude.
Yeah. When I seen that as a kid, it didn't faze me one bit. I was like, okay, it's a ghost. Cool. As an adult, I'm like, ho, 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 ho.
Yeah, a little essay going on with a ghost.
So.
But yeah, you really, if you haven't seen it in years, I would, if you've seen it as a kid and you're like, okay, it was an okay movie. You know, it was
Right.
okay. I enjoyed it, you know, but it, you know, it didn't do much for me. Go back and rewatch it as an adult. You'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, well, that's different.
Right. I don't remember that.
Right.
So,
No, there's always something to catch in this movie every time you watch
yeah,
it.
in all of them, really. Like there's Easter eggs everywhere that you just don't comprehend, and until you watch it again, they're like, oh wow,
Yeah.
and stuff. So,
I'm going to go on a rant, too, when it comes to part 2. When we start talking about part 2,
Yeah.
it's the same thing, but I'll save that rant for when we get there.
right. All right. So, fun facts that I have on this is almost none of the scenes were filmed as scripted. Most had at least one ad lib, and Bill Murray's lines were all ad lib.
Oh, I'm sure they were. Yeah.
So,
He's SNL.
yeah, and I mean, like I said, Dan Aykroyd, he's
Also
He's
SNL, but
SNL.
I would imagine that Bill Murray did a lot of...
yeah, and you know they've been friends for over 40 years.
Yeah?
I mean, it's the 40th anniversary just passed for this movie, actually.
Mhm. It was, what?
June 8th. It
was yesterday.
It was yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, perfect timing.
right. So, but yeah, he met him on SNL, and Dan Aykroyd came in from Canada, and Bill Murray was his tour guide
Mm-hmm.
and helped him get into a hotel or an apartment and all that, and showed him the ropes and everything. And yeah, they've been friends ever since.
Hmm.
So,
Okay.
and they, Dan Aykroyd mentioned that he still talks to some of the original people that are still around from the original cast of SNL, like Chevy Chase and everything. But him and Bill talk daily.
People still talk to Chevy Chase.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. He might not remember the
Yeah.
conversation, but he's kind of out there.
I feel like he would have burned so many bridges by now.
Yeah, I mean they were all kind of wild back then. So.
What do you think John Belushi'd be like if he still was around?
Oh man, I don't know. He'd probably sobered up,
Yeah.
gained a lot of weight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to say where they would be at. I mean, same with like John Candy,
Right.
and
Who was supposed to be in this movie, by the way?
yeah, he was supposed to be a Ghostbuster.
No, he was supposed to be Rick Moranis.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was
That's
supposed to
right.
be, what was his name? What was the character's name?
Louis Tully.
Louis Tully,
Yeah.
that's right.
I'm surprised I didn't find that in my fun facts.
Really?
I forgot all about that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad I
there you
mentioned
go.
it.
There you
Yeah.
go. The only other fun fact I have is for the movie is the character Winston was meant to have joined the team much earlier, and would have been slimed at the hotel, but when Eddie Murphy declined the role,
Whoa.
Yeah.
That would have been different.
right, the script was rewritten to have Winston appear about halfway through the film.
Why the hell did he decline the role?
He was in the middle of Beverly Hills Cop.
Okay.
So
Which
he
was a
couldn't.
huge movie that year as well.
Yeah, that was one of his best movies.
There were so many good movies in 1984.
Yeah.
I mean, that was really the apex year for film, I think. 84 and 85. So many good. 84, let's see. You got
But I think-
Ghostbusters, Beverly Hills Cop, Police Academy.
I mean, of course, it worked out great for both of them. Eddie Murphy, he went on to do Beverly Hills Cop, which the new one is about to come out July 3rd on Netflix.
Yeah.
And we'll probably review those later on once the new one comes out. And then Ernie Hudson, he's famous, but two totally different people.
Yeah.
Totally different people. Back then Eddie Murphy was wild, loud, obnoxious, and everything. And Ernie Hudson has just been calm, cool, collected.
Yeah, he
kind
played
of,
that role super straight.
Yeah, I think if Eddie Murphy would have taken that role, it probably would have been too much.
The movie would have been over the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you'd have Bill Murray and Eddie Murphy. I think it would have been way too much.
And even Bill Murray's role was it was written originally for John Belushi.
Oh wow,
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah. He was supposed to.
That's right. Yeah, Dan Aykroyd mentioned that in an interview that I seen too.
Yeah.
That he had passed away
In 84.
In the middle of it, and he had to run from the scene, from the set, to his wife to tell her before she found out in the newspapers that it happened. So
I thought that was made illegal. You can't announce stuff publicly until the family has been notified.
Yeah.
You know where that came from?
No.
The death of Buddy Holly. Because when the plane went down with Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper, they announced it on the news, in the news and newspapers and whatnot. And Buddy Holly's wife, Maria Santiago, she found out through the news before anybody had come to tell her. She was pregnant at the time and actually lost her child.
Wow.
Buddy Holly was going to have a child, and it didn't happen because of that.
Yeah, I don't know why or how it came about, and that it came out that quickly. That Dan Aykroyd heard about it and everything, knew it happened, and then he was like, "Oh my God, I gotta tell his wife."
Yeah.
And so he ran. She only lived like 5 blocks down from where he was at, and as he was running to go tell her, he was seeing, the newspapers, the headlines being dropped off and everything, and it straight up said right there, front page, John Belushi's death.
Well, I mean, I guess as famous as the man was at the time, that news would have spread very quickly.
Yeah,
because he was a big deal.
Yeah, and he got to her in time and was able to tell her, and he's thankful for that and everything, that he was able to tell her before she found out that way, because nobody wants to find out like that.
No.
So, but yeah. So yeah,
that's why that's illegal to do now, because it can cause emotional stress.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and it started with Buddy Holly.
Nice.
There's your history trivia for today, folks.
Right. So, but yeah, that's all I've got. Do you have anything else to add on Ghostbusters?
I do not, but we do have some clips, or a clip at least.
Yeah, for Ghostbusters, we've got commercials.
We just play either one of them. Anything will work, I suppose.
Yeah, we'll do the Coca-Cola commercial.
Okay, let's do it.
Alan Ladd Jr.
Nope,
that's not it. Try again. Again.
There they go again. And now Coca-Cola Classic wants you to get us going too. They want you to become a Ghostbuster. They say you could win the Ghostbusters 2 Hectomobile. Just grab an entry form where Coca-Cola Classic is sold. We dare you to send it in. So become a Ghostbuster. See if we care.
Drink your Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Sorry about that mishap, too.
That's all right.
That's what happens when you record back-to-back episodes.
So that's what's up next there, Sea-Dog?
We're going to play Ghostbusters 2, or play it. Yeah, we're going to play Ghostbusters 2.
The entire movie.
The entire movie.
Here we go.
Now, here's the trailer, folks.
At the stroke of midnight, on New Year's Eve of the last decade of the 20th century, America's largest city is about to pay for the nastiness of its inhabitants. When that day comes, when the slime starts to rise,
the Titanic just arrived.
When ghosts start arriving by the boatload,
We gotta find the guys.
there's only one thing to do.
Sometimes weird things happen. Someone has to deal with it. And who are you gonna call? All right, suck in the guts, guys. We're the Ghostbusters.
The superstars of the supernatural are back to nuke the spooks.
2 in the box. Ready to go. We be fast and they be slow.
Make some time.
Don't put any of those old cheap moves on me.
No.
It's different.
I have all new cheap moves.
raise your spirits,
If we don't do something by midnight, you will be remembered in history as the man who let New York get sucked down into the 10th level of hell.
and kick some slime.
Looks like a giant Jello mold.
I hate Jello.
Oh, come on. There's always room for Jello. Happy New Year! Hose 'em.
Ghostbusters 2.
You're short, your belly button sticks out too far, and you're a terrible burden on your poor mother.
Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Sigourney Weaver, Harold Ramis, Rick Moranis, and Ernie Hudson in an Ivan Reitman film. Ghostbusters 2.
You're the best! We're the beautiful! We're the only Ghostbusters! We're back! Who you gonna call?
Who you gonna call?
All right, so I was 9 when this movie came out, but I remember how highly anticipated this movie was.
Right.
And I believe I saw this in theaters when it came out, and I was disappointed.
Were you really in the second
I
one?
was disappointed in this movie.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a letdown.
However, since then, it has definitely grown on me. It's not a bad movie whatsoever.
No, it's not. And I'm glad that they mentioned Ernie Hudson in the credits.
Yeah, they finally mentioned the black guy in the credits this time.
So yeah, as you heard, it stars Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, Rick Moranis, Ernie Hudson, and Sigourney Weaver. I sound like I repeated myself because it's the same people, and Annie Potts is in it as well.
Annie Potts. Jason Reitman makes a cameo in this film.
Yes, he does.
As the Brownstone Boy number 2.
Yes, and also the daughter, his daughter, makes a cameo. She is the one that's holding the puppy.
Oh, okay.
In Egon's lab.
Huh.
So that's cool.
In the lab when they're
testing the family
with the music,
when the family's in there and everything, he's like, "Bring in the puppy. Now, let's see what we do when they take away the puppy."
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right behind the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's his daughter. So the movie was
Heyo.
The movie was released June 16th, 1989. It was directed by Ivan Reitman, and it was written by Dan Aykroyd and Harold Ramis. And didn't see if anybody was unaccredited on this one. I think it was just 2. But I'm sure Rick Moranis, I'm sure they've all had something to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
It was composed by Randy Edelman. And do you know anything else that he's done?
Randy Edelman, yes. He's known for doing the score for movies such as Shanghai Noon and Shanghai Nights.
Okay.
The Whole 9 Yards, 6 Days and 7 Nights, Dragonheart, Anaconda, Billy Madison,
nice,
The Mask, one of my personal favorites, My Cousin Vinny, and The Last of the Mohicans.
Wow, all good movies.
Yeah.
Heck yeah. The filming locations, again, were Los Angeles and New York City. It was produced by Columbia Pictures and had a budget of $25 million. You think it flopped?
No, it did not flop.
No, but it didn't make as much as the first one.
No.
This one only made $215 million.
Oh, that's it? $215
Yeah,
million. But I forgot to mention that there were other people featured in this film. You said Annie Potts and the original cast, but also Cheech Marin was in the film. He was the dock manager.
Better late than never.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Brian Doyle Murray, Bill Murray's older brother.
Oh yeah, he was. Where was he at in the movie?
I don't remember. I know that he was in the movie.
Is he the mayor? No, he's not.
He was the mayor.
He's not the mayor.
I don't remember.
No. Yeah, but yeah. Anyways.
And Philip Baker Hall.
Philip Baker Hall.
He's the older guy. I think he was in like those the cop show. Look him up. You know.
Yeah.
He was the Have you ever seen Bad Words with Jason Bateman?
Yeah.
He plays the dad.
Okay.
Or the guy that's running the spelling bee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. He's also in Ghostbusters too.
Okay.
He's been in a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
he has.
A bunch. Like over 200 movies and I think he recently passed away. Just in the last 2 or 3 years.
2022.
Yeah. Same year as Ivan.
Yeah. Yeah, he's done a lot.
Mm-hmm. What you got? You got any fun facts?
I do. Let me get back to that.
I assume this was also filmed in New York City, just like the first one.
Yes, New York City, the same, ladder, Hook and Ladder 8 and Fire Station 23 were the main locations on that, and then all around New York City. Let's see here. IMDb gave it 6.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 55% with a 61% audience rating. Letterboxd gave it 3.1 out of 5. I'm giving this one 7 out of 10. It was still good, but it really wasn't my favorite out of the 4.
Mine's about the same. I'd give it 7.5 out of 10. Like I said, it's grown on me over the years. There's some really good scenes in the movie.
Yeah. It's it's good. I think they could have had a better storyline to it.
Honestly, I think Harold Ramis in this movie, I think he makes the movie.
Yeah.
Every scene that he's in, he just kills it.
Right. Yeah. He played a bigger role in this one than the last one he did, and it's weird. I didn't have a synopsis for this one because it mentioned that Peter Venkman's son was in danger, and it's not his son. It's his girlfriend's son, which he's not the father. She mentions that he's not. We really don't know who the father is, but it's not his.
Was it the violin player or whatever
I
from
think
the
so.
first movie?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
because she mentions that that he ran off and he's history and stuff. So yeah, but yeah, it's not his son. But yeah, that's what the synopsis says. So I didn't want to confuse anybody that hasn't seen this movie.
It could be Zool's son.
Right. Rick Moranis. It's Louis Tully's. They did do it. So,
no, they did. Oh, well, I guess they did.
They did. They had to.
It could be Louis's son.
They had to do it to have Gozer come back.
Wow.
That's a twist.
Never thought of that.
All right, so some fun facts I've got. In the years between Ghostbusters and this film...
5 years.
The real Ghostbusters, it came out in 1986. It introduced the idea that Slimer was living at the firehouse as the Ghostbusters pet.
Yeah, I remember that.
Because the original film and the cartoon series were so popular with children, they put Slimer in this film.
Okay.
So.
Well, he's been in every film, hasn't he?
I don't think he was in Afterlife.
You sure about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I knew he was in Frozen Empire.
Yeah, Afterlife had a different one, a Slimer version, but it wasn't Slimer.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll talk about that. He comes back, though.
Okay.
And while the role of Vigo was played by Wilhelm von Homburg.
Okay, gotcha.
No, I know, not related. All his lines were dubbed by Max von Sydow.
Yeah.
Wilhelm left the premiere in anger when he found out.
Yeah, he was pissed. Yeah.
I remember that he was pissed off.
You were at the.
No, I wasn't at the premiere, but I remember hearing about he was pissed off about it, and he raised a lot of hell about it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, he had every right to be. That's not right.
I'd be mad.
Yeah. And it doesn't go on to say why. So I don't know why he was dubbed over.
They might. My guess would be they either didn't like his voice, it wasn't what they were looking for,
right.
Or maybe he had an accent.
Yeah.
That was
too hard to understand.
Yeah, either that or distasteful to the white producers. I don't know.
Right.
I'm not trying to make it a racial thing.
No.
I'm trying to be funny, okay? Just laugh. It's a funny thing. Okay.
Quit making up shit, man. just say it. So the kid who tells Ray that, we already went over this, that Jason Reitman was the kid that said he was in the movie telling Ray that his dad said that the Ghostbusters were full of crap and everything. That was actually Jason Reitman. And then, of course, he went on to produce or to direct Juno, Up in the Air, and Ghostbusters Afterlife, which we'll talk here about that here soon. And then his daughter's name was Catherine Reitman.
Reitman?
Yeah. Reitman.
Reitman. Some Scooby-Doo shit going on here.
Catherine Reitman was her name. And she's the one that holds the puppy.
Okay.
That's all I got. What about you?
Ghostbusters 2, that's all. I don't have anything.
All right. You want to do another commercial break?
Yeah, let's do another Ghostbusters
ad. I wish we would have had the Ecto Cooler. I love those. I drank the hell out of those.
I didn't even think of that. There were so many things to choose from.
Yeah.
Just in Ghostbusters toys. I almost did the real Ghostbusters theme song.
I remember going into Walmart when this was out, and it was or Toys R Us, not Walmart. It was Toys R Us back then. They literally had an entire aisle of nothing but Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It was Ghostbuster theme aisle.
There were so many things. I had the Ecto 1 car. I had the headquarters, the 3-story tall headquarters. I loved it. It was amazing. I think the only Ghostbuster I had was Spangler.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had the proton pack and the trap.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and the trap, it actually had a foot pedal. You pushed on it and it blew air and then opened up.
It just opened up.
Yeah. So it was kind of cool.
That's cool.
Yeah. That didn't last long. It broke. It was very cheaply made.
Yeah.
But I found it at Swap and Shop actually. So.
Okay. Well, you didn't get it new?
No, I didn't. Well, it was new. It was still in the packaging. But I was at the Swap and Shop because even though Swap and Shops back then, you sold used stuff, but people set up tents there to sell new crap and stuff too, like aftermarket stuff.
Do you still have it?
I don't.
I don't have mine either.
Yeah.
No, I feel really bad that I don't have mine still. Sometime in the late 90s.
There's a lot of toys that I wish I
open. I mean, not just because they're collectibles now, but because they have sentimental value attached to them. Sometime in the late 90s or early 2000s, my mom's basement caught on fire. It was a small fire. It was mostly smoke damage. But when the people came to clean up the smoke damage, they took these boxes that had all my childhood toys in them and took them with them. They basically stole my shit. My headquarters, my Ecto 1, I had the Turtles van. I had a whole bunch of crap, dude.
Nice.
I mean, I had the original, the Batman mobile, not the Batman mobile, the Batmobile, not the black one from the movie, the old 60s blue one.
Nice.
Yeah, I had that too. I had that since I was like 4 or 5. I wish I still had that.
Right. Now, did your turtle van, was it the version that actually
It was
shot
the
out,
original one.
that shot out the discs, the sewer discs?
No.
No? Okay.
No, this was the original one. It didn't have the shooting one yet.
I'll say later, I had the one that had the battery operated, you push the button and it was...
it had the door
discs.
that came out.
Mm-hmm.
Where you could sit in the door, and it also had a seat on top.
Okay. We sound like little kids here just going back.
But
in
I
time.
still have all my Ninja Turtles. I just don't have the van.
I think I do too. I just have to look in the attic.
Yeah.
I know I have them all in a bowling ball bag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know I have them.
I also have this is disconnected from Ghostbusters.
We're going way off the rails.
Yeah,
on this
that's
one.
fine. Hey, that's
fine.
cool with me. I had it was the Skull cave from He-Man.
Oh, Grayskull.
It was like just a skull cave. You could put your action figure in there and put the slime on top,
Yeah.
It was like a dinosaur head.
Mm-hmm.
You put the slime in the dinosaur head, and it would like leak down onto your action figure.
Okay.
This was back when slime was actual
Slime.
It was slime.
Yeah.
It wasn't like sticky and like hard. The slime nowadays is like not the same.
No. Slime today is more like GAC used to be.
Yeah.
But
Back
slime,
then it was goopy.
Yeah, goopy. It was runny. It looked like snot.
Mm-hmm.
Literally snot. So, and then you mentioned that castle and everything with the skull. If some of our locals that live here in Kansas City, if you're listening, if you haven't heard, they're building a Mattel theme park in Kansas, Bonner Springs, Kansas.
Really?
Yep, and one of the themes, one of the buildings is going to be the Skull Castle from He-Man.
That's cool.
And it's going to be a He-Man and Skeletor laser tag inside.
Nice.
But yeah, they're building Barbie's Dream House.
Yeah, they'd have to do Barbie.
Yeah, they're going to have Barbie's Dream House. Which is going to have a bar, like a rooftop bar on it, and then they're having like a Hot Wheels roller coaster and a go-kart, Hot Wheels go-kart track. So looking forward to that.
Cool.
But yeah, I thought that was a good mention after you mentioned the Skull Cave. I was like, hey.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be finished in 2026, so we still got a couple years.
That Skull Cave I got for Christmas back in '85, I think. I remember the year I got it. My mom had hidden it in her trunk in her car.
Nice.
And I remember opening it up. That's one of the presents I actually distinctly remember getting. And I wasn't even a big He-Man fan. I don't know why I remember it so well, but
right. It was a big top item that everybody wanted, and so
I'm rambling.
Yeah.
Let's play our clip.
Let's go on.
There's a cereal in the neighborhood. New Slimer ghosts, fruit flavored oats. Ghostbusters with milk and juice and toast. A complete breakfast with the ghosts.
Ghostbusters! I told you it's glowing. It's the real Ghostbusters cereal.
The first cereal box that glows in the dark with 4 glow-in-the-dark Ghostbuster trading cards.
Slimer!
You gotta have it. Ghostbusters! The first cereal box that glows in the dark.
Glows in the dark.
Did you eat the cereal?
I did eat the cereal.
I did too.
I also had the ET cereal, and I had the Rainbow Bright cereal, which basically tasted like Trix.
Yeah. The Ghostbusters one reminded me of Lucky Charms.
Yeah.
And I think the ET one was more like
it was like Captain Crunch or something.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. But so what's our next one? Oh yeah, we're gonna go forward in time about 30 years. So here is Ghostbusters Afterlife.
What are you doing here in Somerville anyway?
Honestly, my mom won't say it, but we're completely broke. And the only thing that's left in our name is this creepy old farmhouse our grandfather left us in the middle of nowhere. Why'd you bring me up here?
Entertainment value?
What is that?
I don't know.
Somehow, a town that isn't anywhere near a tectonic plate, that has no fault lines, no fracking, no loud music even, is shaking on a daily basis.
Under the dining table now! Hey, remember that one summer we died under a table?
I found this in my living room.
Whoa, killer replica.
A replica of what?
A ghost trap? There hasn't been a ghost sighting in 30 years. New York in the 80s? It's like The Walking Dead. Your dad never mentioned this to you?
It's just my mom. My grandfather died. My mom says we're just here to pick through the rubble of his life.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Call it fate. Call it luck. Call it karma. I believe that everything happens for a reason.
Come on, darling.
It has a gunner seat?
Okay, so this was a good movie.
Yes, it was.
It made me cry.
Me too.
The end made me cry. And I watched it with my wife. And when we watched it together, she saw that I was crying. She was like,
"Why are you crying?"
No, no, she wasn't like, "Why are you crying?" She was like, "What? So that's what makes you cry?"
Makes you cry.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
I'm a bit more emotional. I cried at like Lion King and when Mufasa died. So I'm a little bit more emotional. I get not like bawling, but I'll get teary eyed when I get into movies and
Right.
I feel their pain.
Right.
So I guess that's what empathetic or yeah.
Empathetic. Or just pathetic.
Pathetic. Yeah. So yeah, this is Ghostbusters Afterlife. It's when a single mother and her 2 children move to a new town. They soon discover they have a connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy their grandfather left behind. The movie stars Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, and including new actors, Paul Rudd.
Not a new actor.
Not new
character.
To the movie,
new
to the
character,
franchise.
yeah.
New to the franchise is Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, McKenna Grace, Finn Wolford, and Logan Kim.
Finn Wolford. He was the one that was in Stranger Things, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And the movie was released November 19th, 2021. Did this get released in theaters?
It did.
It did. It was movie. It was
anything from 2020 was not. I think they started picking stuff up in early 21.
Okay. Because I remember it being released digitally, but I think it was released at the same time. It was released in theaters and digitally.
Okay.
This one was. I believe so.
That sounds right.
They
started doing that around the pandemic.
Yeah, and it's starting to get better. They're starting to spread it out a little bit further now before it goes out digitally. So that's good.
Not related, but I was gonna buy Abigail on Blu-ray. Dude, it doesn't come out until December 31st.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. They're holding off on that.
Yeah.
Jeez. It was a good movie, though.
Did you watch Abigail?
I did. Yeah.
I thought it
awesome.
was badass.
Yeah, it was bad.
And I don't even like vampires, man.
Right. Yeah, that was crazy.
Anyway.
And then Maxine's getting ready to come out, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't even do movie news.
No.
On the last episode either. So Maxine is getting ready to come out soon. They just released the trailer for it. Your thoughts on the sequel to what?
I've been looking forward to Maxine for a while.
Pearl is the prequel.
It was and
then X.
I loved X.
Yeah, X was good.
I didn't know what to expect when I watched it, so I was like, okay, this is badass. It's gory. I love gory movies. You know that.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't, but that's your prerogative.
Right.
But I thought X was amazing. I was underwhelmed by Pearl. It was okay.
Yeah. No, and I'm looking forward to Maxine. I hope hope it's better, and succeeds better than X. I mean,
Right.
X was good, but I agree. Pearl wasn't very good.
Maxine is supposed to take place immediately after X, because I think she escapes. She is the sole survivor of the massacre, and she makes off and I guess becomes a porn star or something.
Yeah, because it's Maxine with 3 X's,
right?
Triple X. But
there's another horror movie that just came out, and I can't remember what it's called. I don't even know why I brought it up. And move along.
Also, some movie news before we move on to the rest of the Ghostbusters Afterlife. We haven't mentioned some remakes that are coming out. Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman are redoing Clue. It is in production now, and so that one we'll be looking forward to that soon. I think it would be good, especially with Jason with them too. Like that's
looking forward to it is a stretch.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman. That's another dynamic.
Well, I love both of them. I think both of them together would be amazing.
Yeah. Have you ever seen The Change Up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot they were in that together.
That
yeah.
It was hilarious. And then another remake that they're coming out with that I am not too fond of is
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Yes, starring Will Smith. I mean, I like Will Smith and Kevin Hart, which I like Kevin Hart. So I don't know. It could be good.
I don't know.
It might be.
I'm just going to keep my mouth shut on that one.
Yeah. We'll see when it comes out. But they're both in pre-production. So
I'm not going to be the guy that's like, nurmur, nurmur, nurmur.
Right.
Before I even know anything about the movie.
Right.
There's enough of those people on social media.
Yeah. So there's some movie news for you guys. And back to Ghostbusters Afterlife. This one was directed by Jason Reitman.
Mm-hmm. Ivan's son.
Yes. And former special guest on Ghostbusters 2.
Yep.
So, and it was written by Gil Kennan. Gil Kennan, Jason Reitman, and Ivan Reitman also had a part in it as well. Like we mentioned, he's had a part in all the movies.
Gil Kennan was known for directing Monster House.
Okay.
Which was, I believe, a Spielberg production.
Yeah.
And he also did, and I just hate this movie. It's the most unnecessary pile of crap ever made. Poltergeist 2015.
Oh, yeah.
With Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, no.
Why? Why would?
We didn't need that.
It's Poltergeist.
Right.
It did not do the franchise any good to be remade.
No.
It was just
it's a very forgettable movie. Kind of like 2016 Ghostbusters.
Oh, I'd rather watch 2016 Ghostbusters than Poltergeist any day.
Yeah, any day.
Because, Poltergeist is one of my favorite...
Right.
Not just one of my favorite horror movies, but one of my favorite movies ever made. It was so well done.
And that's the problem with these days with these remakes is they're stretching, I think. I mean, they can't... come on, Hollywood. You come up with some new material. Get us some different movies, some different stories.
We were talking the other day about how good these 80s movies were. And I don't think we think these movies are great just because of the nostalgic factor.
Right.
But the movies were actually great because they were fresh and they were creative. They weren't making movies like this before or after the 80s. These were an animal all their own.
Yeah, and maybe that's a problem. They came out with so many good movies in the 80s and early 90s that they've just run out of ideas. Like they come up with a new material and like that's been done.
Yeah,
we can't. No, that's already been done.
I don't believe that people have run out of ideas. I don't think that's a thing.
I hate the way the remakes and I hate to be this person. Because I'm not racist, I'm not sexist or anything like that. But
that's what racist people say.
Well, I'm just saying, like it just seems like, they're remaking these movies to fit into different cultures. You know what I mean? Or different race. The ethnic groups, the sexualities and stuff. They're trying to edit them. Tone them down to today's society, and it's just not. They're not the same. Nothing is the same as the originals. None of the remakes. I don't think there's a remake that I actually like better than the originals, or even equal to.
There's certain things in society that you should be outraged about, such as racism, bigotry, just stuff like that. But it seems like people are going over the top. Almost getting to the point where if it's something you don't like, you try to censor them.
Yeah.
That's not okay. It's okay. You should be trying to censor people that are, sexist or rapey or, like I said, racist. But just because you don't like something somebody's saying, that's not a reason for you to cancel it.
Right, and I don't like. I mean, I don't dislike these movies. It's just they're doing too much of it. Like I think they're not thinking it through too well. Like I mean, I'm cool with gender swapping and you know.
No,
race swapping and stuff
I
like that.
totally understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
The Hollywood is being a lot more inclusive when it comes to sexuality, race, and all that stuff, which is cool.
Right.
There is a point where it feels like they're trying to cram it down everybody's throats, forcing it. They're like almost forcing it, which becomes disingenuous.
Right. Like recently, I just watched Overboard. With Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. They remade Overboard and had a remake of it, but they swapped roles. And that kind of thing, I mean, it wasn't as good as the original. It was okay. But I got it and everything because it was a different perspective of the movie, the whole thing. And then also Total Recall.
Yeah.
With Colin Farrell, they remade it. And the storyline, they changed the storyline of it. Some things were similar, but they changed the initial storyline, which was a good thing. It kind of made itself, you know, just stand out.
Kind of like Child's Play. It was a reboot, not a remake.
Right.
No, wait, that's the other way around, isn't it? It wasn't a reboot, it was a remake.
It was a remake, yeah. So those type of movies, you know, different. They need to be somewhat different from the other one. You know, not just okay. We're going to switch up the race. We're going to switch.
Right. If you're going to have an agenda like that, that's fine. I mean, I'm all for inclusiveness.
Yeah.
You know, everybody needs to be equal, but bring out something original, something new, something fresh. Stop playing on something that's already been done. It's so watered down.
It's getting old.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing it for what, 20 years?
Yeah.
With the reboot era. I mean, it's just it's getting old. Like come on.
And I think people would be more receptive to it if you were making these things that are more fresh.
Yeah.
And not just trying to stretch.
Right.
This whole
and it really. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No,
you.
go ahead.
I mean, it really, you know, like Ghostbusters Afterlife here. You know, that's 30 years later, but it's so nostalgic and it's a different storyline, and you know, it's a continuation 30 years later. So the hype of this movie was through the roof and everything because they brought everybody back,
right,
and everything, and you know that kind of stuff. They need to stick with that. Let's do something. You know, if it was a movie back in the 80s. Where they at now? You know, let's do a movie like that and continue it. Don't reboot it.
Yeah.
You know, and so all right, I'm done with that rant.
I mean, there's a lot to be said about that.
There really is
about that idea.
We can have an entire episode of just talking about that kind of stuff. But
that's just the tip of the iceberg. But yeah, let's move on with Afterlife.
Yes. So the composer for Afterlife is Rob Simonson. I didn't know if it was Simonson or Simonson.
I'm pretty sure it's Simonson. Yeah. Rob Simonson. He's known for doing the score for movies such as The Whale, which is another movie that made me teary.
Yeah.
Deadpool and Wolverine, which is coming out.
There we go.
Seeking a Friend for the End of the World with Steve Carell. 500 Days of Summer. And Age of Adeline.
Okay.
You seen Age of Adeline? It's actually a really good movie.
I haven't seen that one yet. Yeah. I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Good movie.
Yeah, a lot of these I mean, it's cool to see these movies and then where these people have gone and progressed and stuff through. I mean, this one's only 2021, but like I said, I mean, he's done so much stuff, and that's why these movies are so good because of all these good people that they're bringing into it.
Yeah,
the filming locations on this one's a little different. The movie was set in rural Oklahoma, but most of the production was done in Alberta, Canada. And this one was produced by Sony Pictures. It had a budget of $75 million, And do you think it flopped?
No.
No. It grossed $204 million.
Still, that's
That's a lot. Even having a digital and theater release in the same.
That
same
wasn't
day.
as much as part 2.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
Even with the inflation,
right?
Especially with inflation. God.
So, IMDb gave this one 7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it 64% with a 94% audience rating.
Wow.
Letterboxd gave it 3 out of 5. I gave this one 9 out of 10.
I gave it 8 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
I gave it a little bit more just because of the hype and the nostalgic of it. It was so anticipated, and like I said, the end.
It was a touching.
Really, yeah, it was very.
We had a touching reunion with Mr. Harold Ramis.
Yes.
And by the way, I didn't mention that this was. It also featured J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons was in it as well.
Oh, yes, he was. Yeah, he was the dead guy in the cave.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, that's who he was.
It also features Bokeem Woodbine, which I think he was a cop or something.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was Celeste O'Connor's dad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember now.
Yeah.
Right. And it also features Ivan Reitman.
See, I seen that, but I don't remember where he was at.
He was the ghost of Spengler.
Was he?
I assume that he played Spengler as the ghost, and then they superimposed Harold Ramis.
Right. I heard that it was the guy off of Shawshank Redemption, the warden.
Mm-hmm.
I seen somewhere that they used him.
From what I've read, it was Ivan.
So they might have changed it then.
And this was just months before Ivan himself passed away.
Right. So wow, that's awesome.
Yep.
And so the fun facts I have, like we mentioned, this movie was dedicated to Harold Ramis, who died in 2014.
22.
Huh?
Ivan died in 2022.
Oh, Ivan died in 2022. Harold Ramis
died
I'm
sorry. I'm thinking
in 2014.
Derpity derp. Right, because he had not died yet.
Right. So we'll get to that later.
Okay. Sorry.
Many of Egon Spengler's favorite snacks make a reappearance in the movie, such as Cheez-It, crackers, Crunch, bars, and Twinkies.
Gotta have the Twinkie.
Yep. The Revelation 6:12 prophecy written on the junk in front of the farmhouse is is the same Bible verse Ray quotes in the original Ghostbusters. When Ray is seen again, he has the verse tattooed on his arm. The verse says, "I watched as he opened the sixth seal. There was a great earthquake. The sun turned black like sackcloth made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red." And then the other fun fact I have is Paul Rudd announced via social media that he would be joining the cast while standing in front of Hook and Ladder 8, Ghostbusters headquarters in New York City.
Nice.
So,
no, I was excited when I heard Paul Rudd was going to be in it. I'm like,
oh yeah,
oh dude, because you got to love Paul Rudd.
Oh yeah, he's a local.
Yeah, not just because he's a local,
but yeah, he's good. He's a good actor.
Because we are based out of Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah,
and he's from Overland Park, Kansas, which is just
right around the corner.
Yeah, like 20 minutes away.
Yeah. So yeah, that's all I have for Afterlife.
That's all I got.
All right, you want to play one more commercial?
Let's do it.
We got one more.
All right.
We interrupt with a Ghostbuster Bulletin. Supernatural activity has been sighted in Chicago. Ghostbusters are going live to the scene.
Look out, the ghost! Ah! Help! Lewis! I'll get her with my power pinchers. Great new equipment. Oh no, it's Terror Tongue! Help him, a tongue sandwich! Fire, guns, and bazooka! To the Ghost Sweeper!
New figures and vehicles each sold separately.
Nailed him! Mean machine!
If you see anything unusual,
gotcha!
You know who to call.
Ghostbusters!
So the thing is, I'm also a tongue sandwich.
Yeah. Says our wives.
God. So, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Yes.
Let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
Let's do it.
I've been waiting 40 years for this. They called themselves Ghostbusters. According to these hacks, they saved the world. No eyewitnesses. And who is found to carry the torch? Descendants of Egon Spengler. You have a miner hanging out the side of a moving vehicle, firing a laser gun indiscriminately.
Has a proton pack.
It's completely safe.
I wouldn't say completely safe.
The Ghostbusters are finished.
Right. Well, overruled.
Sustained.
Thank you.
You the weird guy who buys strange old things?
Correct on both counts.
Buddy, you just hit the jackpot.
What is it?
Better question is, what's inside of it?
The parables tell of an unimaginable evil commanding an army of ghosts. With the power to kill by fear itself.
Like, literally scared to death?
We might be looking at a second ice age.
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let's get to work.
Can I be of any help? Melnitz in uniform. Yes.
If there's something strange, if there's something weird, who are people gonna call?
Ghostbusters, what do you want?
We're the Ghostbusters. Can I tell you something else? What? Bustin makes me feel good. It makes me feel good.
Heads up. All dark and horny at 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
Good old Slimer's back.
Yeah.
So
just so you know, Bustin makes me feel good.
You're right.
FYI.
Oh, so yeah, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. I've seen this before you did. And I was waiting for you to watch this because I really wanted to do this episode. I really love this movie. This was I think it was greatly done. And I liked it better than Afterlife. Afterlife was nostalgic. It was heartfelt and everything. But this one, it really kind of just introduces like a new generation and everything, because it kind of reminds me of the real Ghostbusters cartoon, which came out in between, Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2.
Yeah.
And so it kind of had that feel. So I was like, yes, we're finally getting like a live action real Ghostbusters, and everything for it. But the movie, it's the Spengler family returns to the iconic New York City firehouse, where the original Ghostbusters have taken ghostbusting to the next level. When the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters, new and old, must unite to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. It stars Dan Aykroyd. Let me rephrase this. This is going to be a little long. Original actors: Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Bill Murray, Annie Potts. Afterlife's new actors: McKenna Grace returning, Finn Wolford, Paul Rudd, Carrie Coon, and Celeste O'Connor, and Logan Kim. And then upcoming to the franchise for the movie is Kumail Ali Nanjiani, Patton Oswalt, James Acaster, and Emily Aylan Lind, who plays Melody, the ghost. And then special guests from the original Ghostbusters in 1984 is William Atherton.
I was waiting for it.
And John Rothman.
Yeah.
That was a surprise when I seen him in there. And
he was the library.
Yeah. He was the director.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Director.
And so that was cool to see him in the movie. The movie was released March 22nd this year, 2024. And this one was directed by Gil Kennan. Gil Kennan. It was written by Gil Kennan, Jason Reitman, and Ivan Reitman. And the composer for this one is Dario
Marianelli.
Yeah.
Who also did work on The Darkest Hour.
Okay.
Which was the story of Churchill.
Yeah.
V for Vendetta, and The Brothers Grimm.
Nice.
Also, those who produced this film was also Jason Reitman and Jason Blumenfeld, who is known for producing Sabotage with Schwarzenegger and End of Watch with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Right. And then also it was distributed by Sony Pictures.
Just like the last one.
Yeah. And filming locations in this one is actually England and New York City. And then the beach scenes were done in New Jersey. So a couple of other locations.
So this is a Jersey Shore, the movie?
Yeah. Yeah. Jersey Shore froze over. Look out, Snooky. And then the villain, the ghost, the evil force that they're fighting. I can't think of the name. I just recently watched it too again. But he's based. He was on an episode of the real Ghostbusters. So that's where they got this character from. And man, they ran with it too.
I think the effects on this movie were really well done.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things I do like about this movie. I don't necessarily dislike it, and my opinion might change on a second watch.
Right.
But I was pretty underwhelmed by it. I'd give it a 6 out of 10.
I gave it 10 out of 10.
Okay.
But I mean, I can understand that. Yeah, it's worth a second watch. It was on the verge of a rated R. It was that eerie that they almost made it in a rated R movie. Which, I mean, that would have been cool, but I could see on some scenes in the movie that it does kind of borderline in that era.
Just because of the creepiness and okay.
Yeah, but of course they kept it, to where, teenagers and kids can go and see it and stuff like that too. But
I would say that this is definitely the creepier one compared to like the original. There were some creepy parts in the original, like when the dude gets in the taxi and it's the skeleton, the corpse that's driving.
Right.
Which, as a kid, that was creepy.
That was.
Now it's fucking cool.
Yeah. Right. And I was also kind of skeptic before I watched this. When I heard that they were coming out with it and everything, I was like, I liked what they did with Afterlife, and they brought Gozer back, because we didn't know that they didn't kill her. Then after I seen Afterlife, then I'm like, okay, what are they going to do next? Are they going to bring Vigo back? Because they didn't really trap him or get rid of him. He kind of died the same way that
he just like spiraled off into nothing.
Yeah, into nothing, and bllew up, just kind of like what Gozer did. So I was thinking that they were going to bring back Vigo. I'm like, oh man, they're just going to continue this one on too, and then have the original Ghostbusters finish what they started, back then too. But no, I like how they did a new villain, new ghost, and a new storyline on this one. It was well done, very well done.
I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, I recommend it. At least the second watch. I think I've seen it three times now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's still a 10 out of 10 for you.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
Was it a 10 out of 10 initially?
I'd say it was probably 9, but now that I've seen it more, I'm bumping it up to 10 because it's just like I said, I just like the storyline, the originality of it, and everything, and it's just, to me, it just brings it back. I can't wait for the next one now.
Well, I hope they kill the franchise with it.
I don't know if they're going to kill it. I don't know if they're going to kill it.
They need to stop.
Dan Aykroyd has mentioned that he's probably going to return. Him and Ernie Hudson will probably return for if there's another sequel.
I thought you
Them
said
two will.
Dan Aykroyd is done.
He did say that, but then he also said that he was going to come back with this one. So it's hard to say, but he'll probably play a small part in this one if he does. But it's basically going to be handing the torch. This one was the beginning of handing that torch over to them and bringing them to New York and everything. Now the new generation is going to be fighting the ghosts, and everybody else is going to retire.
Well, you know, I seriously think they need to kill the franchise. But if they do with this next one, just keep it a trilogy.
Right.
You know, like a sequel trilogy or whatever.
Right.
But they need to bring Rick Moranis back, if at all possible.
Yeah, if they're going to kill the franchise, they need to get him back.
Yeah.
You know, they really do. Like, I don't care if it's just a small role. Bring him back. You know,
for real, just a cameo.
Pay him buco amounts of money just to get him to come back.
That would make people, just that, even if he was like in a cameo, I think people would rush to the theater to be like, oh my God, Rick Moranis is back.
Because he's been gone for so long.
Yeah.
And he turned down, Ghostbusters Afterlife.
30 years I think he's been gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So he's just done.
I think didn't they say something like he didn't like the script or whatever, and so he wasn't on board.
Yeah, he didn't like the role that Louis Tully was going to have to go or something like that. So he's like, no, I'm not doing it.
Did they say why Sigourney Weaver didn't make it in?
No, I think they didn't really have a spot to fit her in there.
Yeah.
So they didn't. I mean, like I said, she made the cameo at the very end, the end credits of Afterlife.
Right.
And I think that just basically just sealed it where she's at, and stuff.
Okay.
So, yeah, they didn't really have a role for her. But the budget on this one was $100 million. And it only grossed $201 million, which, I mean, is surprising. It only doubled its money.
Yeah.
So, but, like, the ratings, IMDb gave it 6.2 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes only gave it 42% with an 83% audience rating, and Letterboxd gave it 2.6 out of 5. So
wow.
It was kind of fair ratings, but I loved it. I still gave it 10 out of 10.
Okay.
So who cares what they think? Only listen to us. No. Fun facts I have on this. In the background at the new facility, the slime blowers used in Ghostbusters 2 can be seen, and one of the engineers is spraying another, perhaps just to test the effects of the slime. Mm-hmm. But you can see that in the background when they go to that new facility, and everything. So I thought that was kind of cool.
The new facility where they had the orb.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, where they had all the ghosts imprisoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when Gary says he picked out a film for the movie, he holds up a VHS copy of Cannibal Girls from 1973.
Okay.
And this was the second feature film directed by Ivan Reitman, and who directed the first two Ghostbusters, of course. And he's also listed as a producer on this film, which is dedicated. This film's dedicated to him because it was after he passed.
Okay, yeah.
So the first.
There we go.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, right. So, and then the title "Cannibal Girls" can also be seen on a movie theater marquee in both Ghostbusters 2 and Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Okay.
And then when Nadeem asks if anyone has a lighter, Ray replies that he stopped smoking in the 90s, whilst this may be a burden to their current predicament. It's a callback to Ray's bad habit, because he used to smoke in 1 and 2, and
right.
Then, so
right.
Yeah, he quit smoking in the 90s, and then where he can be seen, smoking through Ghostbusters and Ghostbusters 2. I already mentioned that. And so, yeah, that's, I think I got another couple more on this one. Yes, I do. According to McKenna Grace, it was somewhat more difficult, at least for her anyways, to work with the surviving original cast members compared to Ghostbusters Afterlife, where the original actors just came in late at the film, where this one they were there 90% of the time.
Wow, okay.
So
even Bill Murray?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then Grace admitted that while it was fun working with them and hearing their stories and everything, she just felt a little intimidated and worried about screwing up, in front of the guys who started the whole thing 40 years ago.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pressure on her, cause
right.
And then Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, again, like I mentioned, is dedicated to the late Ivan Reitman, the original director of the first two films, who passed away on February 12th, 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I got.
Okay.
So
I'm good. I don't have anything.
Yeah, I hope they continue it. If not, I'm glad with the ending if they don't continue the franchise. But I think, it doubled its money. I think they may make one more.
Okay.
So we'll see.
We shall see.
Yep. But all right. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah. What are we doing next week? Next time?
We're gonna do Police Academy.
Yeah, we're gonna tackle the entire
franchise.
Yeah, all 7 films.
This will be a long episode, so be ready.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.